Okay, so the next part of the homework is to come up with a bunch of statements or really understand the implications of natural history for survival, speciation, risk of extinction, and those types of things. So we ask you a bunch of things. I'm just going to refer to my slide here. It says, which of the following is true about either the risk of extinction or ease of speciation with respect to the two strategies, the Veliger or the Glaucidia strategy? And again, I'm just going to kind of get you started here. Imagine we've got a lake system that has a bunch of tributaries like this. Just draw a lake to kind of fully understand a little bit about the implications of the two different strategies. Imagine we have, the Veliger larvae I'm going to have in black, and the Glaucidia larvae I'm going to have in red. Like this, okay. So let's start first with the Glaucidia. So imagine we have a whole bunch of mussels that live here. These are the red ones that live in the lake. And they release Glaucidia. Now remember, they do this by parasitizing the gills of different fish. So imagine they release Glaucidia into the environment or into the fish, okay? So here are the fish. Now these fish are going to swim around, and of course they have their own life cycles and natural histories that they need to address. And so, some of the fish will go up into the lakes or into the rivers, like this. Imagine, for spawning or for whatever it is that they need to do. Okay, now imagine we have some Veliger larvae that are here. Veliger mussels, so some zebra mussels, and they release their Veliger just generally into the water column. And so they are able to free float pretty much anywhere that they can go. Now, obviously the currents are going to play a really important role, and so maybe there are some currents and they go in that direction, but the idea is that their movement or distribution isn't restricted to the movements of their host species because they don't have a host species. So what I'd like you to do now is to understand the concept of speciation. And one thing that you could do is take a look at the requirements. What's required for speciation to occur? And more specifically, what's the relationship between speciation and gene flow? So take a look and see if you can figure out what the relationship is between speciation and gene flow, and then which of the strategies, the Veliger or the Glaucidia, are more likely to result in speciation. So see if you can figure that one out. And I'd like you to try to do it yourselves because I think that process is really going to help understand what these concepts are. Also take a look at the requirements for extinction and some of the conditions under which extinction events occur. And again, ask yourself, what's the relationship between extinction and gene flow, and whether or not there's an argument for why either of these strategies would be more likely to experience an extinction event. And please go ahead and continue to kind of explore those things and see if you can come up with some true statements about these, and also see if you can come up with some false statements about these different strategies relative to the risk of extinction or the risk or the chances of speciation and the relationship that those concepts have to the concept of gene flow.